Tell me what would it take to get you to believe. Tell me what my generation could do to get you to believe and step out on faith.
Maybe engage more with us.
How so?
Have us more, I say be more involved in church, but more like church activities. Because I know for me, when I was younger, I never really wanted to go to church. I would be embarrassed to say that I went to church because it would be boring. I felt like it was like a waste of my Sunday, but I didn't understand what church was for. It kind of felt like I was just up early Sunday morning, taken to church and Sunday school, taught this stuff, and I was just here. But now that I'm older, I understand the Bible, and I know that it's something that I need to hear. But I would like to see more activity, so it's not just the sit in church and hear somebody speak, but there's more for us to do and be more engaged and involved in the church.
I agree with that. You know, and you answered the question I was going to ask you, which was what could have made it different where you wouldn't have felt bad about going to church. And I did think about that because typically if you're under 12, the way that we had church, you just sang in a sunshine band, and then there was literally nothing else for you in the service.
And honestly, I would sit there and just be so excited after testimony service to go up and sing in the sunshine band for those little 3 minutes, and then that was it.
Wow.
So,
yeah, and see, so before we dismiss them as being bad and rebellious, consider that. And sometimes we go to church and it's all about us, and you know,
you kind of feel left out.
You feel left out. And so when you feel left out, then you start hanging out. Okay. What was it about the church experience that even though you were bored and you felt like it was a waste of your Sunday, what was it about the church experience that still made you feel like it was necessary? Or do you feel like it's necessary?
Honestly, I didn't feel like it was necessary back then because no one really explained to me the purpose of church, and I wasn't really able to understand the sermon. But now that I'm older, listening to the sermon, I understand why it is necessary, because typically I'll hear something that applies to my everyday life, and I'll say, okay, I should be listening to this and applying this to my everyday life, and it kind of helps you walk through.
So no one explained to you the purpose of church?
No.
I didn't explain to you the purpose of church?
It was kind of like, well, you were my Sunday school teacher, so it was kind of like I woke up on Sunday morning, you told me to get ready for Sunday school and get my Sunday school book. We go to church, you teach me, we read these scriptures, and I understand these scriptures that we learned on Sunday. And that's just it. And it's like, it felt like something that was just what your mom told you to do, so you had to do it.
Honestly, I do have to admit, even as an adult, that there were times when I wished I could go to Sunday school then go home. And this was while I was an adult.
And I did look forward to Sunday school. I just didn't really look forward to the service.
I was an adult. I was singing in the choir. I was saved. I was working, and after Sunday school for me, I may as well have gone home. I was not engaged in the service. So I can feel what you're saying, and I probably shouldn't have made that confession, but it's the truth. So, yeah, I should have said it.
It kind of feels as if we're never involved, because at the age of 9, you're singing in the Sunshine Band, but nobody's calling you up to speak. Nobody's calling you up for testimony service. So you're kind of like, okay, well, I guess I'm not able to do this. So you're just there. You feel like you shouldn't be there. It's not the place for you.
How did you feel when we had youth services?
Youth services probably were my favorite. When we'd have a youth service after a service, I would sit in service just bouncing, waiting for service to end so we could start our youth service.
How would you respond to an adult, somebody my age, who said to you that it was disrespectful for you to say that you weren't interested in engaged in morning service and you were sitting there waiting until youth service, and to say that that's the wrong spirit, you know, you need to sit down and learn from us so you'll know how to do it? How would you respond to that, an adult who said that?
Well, I would explain that it's not that we don't appreciate the service, but as a young person, we don't enjoy not being involved. Like, even me, I can't listen to the radio if it's a song that I don't know. I will change the station and look for something that I know and I can sing along with. So not being engaged kind of pushes your mind, makes your mind wander, and I'll start thinking about other things and not paying attention in service. and you want to be engaged. I want to learn the word. I want to get up and speak. And with me, for learning, it's easier when I can learn hands-on. So if you want me to learn the word, it's easier if I can stand up and read the scripture.